Hello everybody, Dokkan here. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. Well, not a video per se. This is just more of a discussion topic and everything like that. So you guys know that there will be a timestamp or a card, I think. Sorry, up at the top right, where you guys can see the same video format that we're doing here, but with the movie bosses stage. So in this video, we're going to be discussing the Ultimate Redzone, but for the GT edition. I meant to do this immediately after I recorded the movie bosses Redzone stage, but I just saw that the video took me so long that I was like, nah, dude, there's like, it cannot last this long. So what I wanted to do was like try to lower or keep it under a reasonable threshold of time, because it's a very long, like, it was a very long video, and I am really sorry about that. So hopefully this one is not too long. This one's gonna be a little bit more shorter, hopefully. So we're gonna be discussing the Ultimate Redzone, but this is the GT side of things. Shoutouts to Dokkan. I will leave the links in the description for the Ultimate Redzone, the GT edition, and the Movie Bosses edition, so you guys can check it out and also support Dokkan and others, you know. So let's go ahead and talk about the GT edition of the Ultimate Redzone. It is much more easier than the whatchamacallit. It's much more easier than the Movie Bosses stage. Very easier. There are some bosses here and there that are gonna be a little bit tricky to deal with, but as long as if you beat the movie bosses stage, you sure as hell can beat this stage. So let me also see, because I don't know if I got all the images up. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Alright, I do believe we got all the stages here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Alright, so first stage is up against Ludwig. Ludwig, right? I believe that's his name. Yeah. Oh no, Ledgic. Sorry, thought it was Ludwig. Ledgic. So this is just one fight. It's so easy. It's just one fight. You're only fighting Ledgic. No minions or anything. There's no second boss. This type of boss, obviously, you gotta be a little bit careful, you know, with a super attack, because it does 500,000 damage on your super attack. That's why you need some defensive stacking units. You need some units that can guard, or, you know, top tier. I'm not gonna say top of the line units, because the units on the 7-year anniversary can just mollywop this whole stage easy. Wherever you're going to see difficulty is obviously when you see a super attack, but it's a pretty simple stage. Obviously these guys are going to be a little bit tanky with their damage reduction, but they're pretty simple. 23.5 million HP, 200,000 attack, and 65,000 defense. You got to be careful with their normal attacks. This guy's normal attacks, if it's on a unit that you don't think it's gonna do well tanking or receiving a normal attack or anything in that regard, then you may get hit for a lot. So you gotta be very careful regards to that. 17% chance is a super attack chance. He can only do 1 super attack per turn. He only has 8 attacks, only 8 attacks in the turn. He has an 11% chance to do 7 attacks instead of 8. And here's the kicker: he can dodge. He has a 5% chance to dodge. Even then, 5% chance is still 5%. So you gotta be very careful. So this man, the only thing that kind of made it up to par with the difficulty is that you're not able to reduce his defense, you're not able to lower his attack, you're not able to seal him, you're not able to stun him, and he has the ability to dodge. So that's legit. Next stage, once you beat this easy boy, you go into Lud. Now Lud is another easier man. He is not going to be too difficult. That's the thing. But you gotta be careful with his super attack effects. So it's 2 stages. You're going to fight the physical one, and then you're going to fight his SDR version. 21.1 million HP. Attack. He has an attack stat, or he can do a normal attack of 188,200, and he has 63k defense. His super attack damage is 526,000, and he has an 18% chance to do a super attack. Now, with these chances, I believe that goes for everybody. It's like a low to medium chance for him to do a super. So keep in mind that whenever you're going through these stages, expect a super attack. It's not like maybe when you go through these Dokkan events and stuff like that, when you beat a Dokkan event, you expect to get a super from the enemy. But those types of supers don't hurt as much. These types of supers are the ones that destroy your HP, so you gotta keep an eye out for that. Especially because of Loot's effect here. He's able to lower your defense by 40% for 3 turns after if you receive the hit. If you receive the super attack, you won't be able to. You're gonna have your defense debuffed for a lot, and it's for 3 turns. And it's 40% for 3 turns. That's bad. that neutralizes your defense. I believe Evolution Blue Vegeta, if you get super by Evolution Blue Vegeta in the Legendary Vegeta stage, Legendary Vegeta event, I believe he lowers it by 80%. I'm not sure. But again, you need to make sure that you have units that can have a high level of defense, that can raise their defense and stuff like that. He has only 6 attacks, and he has a 17% chance to do 5 instead of 6. And he has a damage reduction of 63%. Keep in mind that you cannot lower his defense nor his attack, and you can't seal nor stun him. Well, once you beat Lude, his physical version, you can move on to the STR version. Now keep in mind, you see on the side here, he needs to be defeated with a super attack. This is like one of these types of enemies that he won't go down with like a normal attack. You need to do a super attack at the end, or at the finishing stages, where his HP is just very low. It just indicates you on the health bar that you need to finish him off with a super attack instead of a normal attack. But that's pretty straightforward. Then he then gets a little bit of a raise of 24 million HP. He gets 220,000 attack and 68,000 defense. Now keep in mind, these are all just like the stats and everything. You don't need to be afraid of you receiving. Well, it all depends, by the way. It all depends on the defense that you have and everything. But you may be able to tank the super attacks for these guys. It just all depends on the defense that you have. If you have a plenty good amount of defense, then you're gonna be doing fine. But if you're not doing so well on defense, then that maybe is going to harm you along the way. He has an 18% chance to do a super attack. Max is 1 per turn. I believe Broly or some other enemy in this stage are the only people that can super twice on the Redzone. I just don't know which one of the GT saga GT enemies are going to super you in the whatchamacallit. You know, in this super attack you twice. So he has an effect that he's able to raise his attack by 30% for 99 turns. Therefore, he can stack his attack. Basically speaking, his attack, whenever he supers, once he does a super attack, he's able to do much more damage on his normals. Let's say, for example, you took 40k on a normal, and he then supers you for 300k. I don't know how much damage will this guy do, but then he does another attack, and that attack hits you for 55k or 65k. Keep in mind, that's not him lowering your defense, it's that he just raised his attack, and he's not able to, you're not able to lower his attack because he has that mechanic. Well, he has this little ailment right here that you cannot lower his attack. he has an 18% chance to do 1 less attack, so he can be able to do 6. And he has a damage reduction of 65%. So he's gonna be a little tanky. But pretty straightforward. These are just simple fights. You just gotta watch out for his super attack. Make sure that you don't get clipped by his super attack, especially on this section right here where he just lowers your defense. Defense is very important when you're facing these enemies. Obviously, the optimal thing to do on the red zone is to bring units that stack defense, or that can guard, or they can do both. If they can guard and raise their defense on their super attacks, they're gonna do splendid. So that's another thing to keep an eye out for. Once you beat Lude, you go into the next stage, which is Metal Rildo. So he has 3 stages. Has Int, AGL, and then Tech. He has some different mechanics here. Give me 1 second. So, first and foremost, you guys can see right here on the elements that you cannot stun, you cannot seal, you cannot lower his attack or defense, and he's able to dodge your attacks. All 3 stages he's able to dodge your attacks. He has 20 million HP on the first stage. His attack is 200,000 and defense is 64,000. Keep in mind, as you guys can see that the icon that you cannot lower his defense. On normal enemies that you can, it's not as significant as lowering attack, because you can see the difference between lowering attack and lowering defense. Lowering attack is just when you get hit, you're not going to receive as much damage as you're supposed to if you don't lower his attack. But as far as defense go, there are some things that you can do, like crits is one thing, but when you see him or see a character getting his defense lowered, it doesn't do too much of an impact as you, the player, trying to survive a super attack because you were not able to lower his attack. So it's a little bit iffy when they show these stats. Have to keep in mind that this is what they do. These are the stats that they have. Sort of the APT version of it. But it's something to have an idea whenever you're going onto these stages. Like, oh, okay, so this guy's gonna hit me probably for like on a normal attack, he's probably gonna hit me for like 50k or for 25k if I'm not too careful, or if I haven't raised my defense yet, or I haven't super attack yet. And if I haven't super attack yet and he does a super attack, then I'm possibly gonna get hit by a lot here. So I need to be careful. Some things like that. He has a 16% chance to do a super attack. His super attack damage is 500,000. Again, keep an eye out for that. And he has an effect on his super attack, which he's able to lower your defense by 40% for 3 turns. I believe every single stage, his super attack effect is just going to be that. He's just going to lower your defense. Movie Boss's stage of the Red Zone is much more difficult because it's so hard hitting, but it doesn't have more effects like the GT Edition stage. And the GT Edition might be more weaker, but if you get careless in these stages, you are not gonna have a fun time. He's able to do 8 attacks in the turn. He has a 13% chance to do 7 or to do one less attack. He has a damage reduction of 63%, and he has a dodge chance of 7%. So every single stage he has a dodge chance of 7%, and his damage reduction keeps raising up by 2% once you keep going onto these stages. Next, you go ahead. I believe it's the same thing with AGL. Extreme AGL Metal Rildo here. You get 24.5 million HP, 230,000. I keep saying percent. 230,000 attack and 68,000 defense. He has a super attack damage of 575, so it does get a little bit higher. So again, by this stage, let's say you're in like turn 5 or turn 6. It all depends on how fast you take down Rildo for the first stage. You get to see how your defense is, and maybe you need to keep stacking, or maybe you might have had your rotations already set up for once you go into these next stages, because you're gonna be more confident to where you're going to go ahead and try to take these enemies down. For example, if you take a super attack for 575k, but your Tech Gohan has 500k defense that he's guarding, then he's just gonna tank that just fine. I did say that after doing all of these videos, I will do sort of like a team building guide as to what you guys can bring to beat these stages. So I will possibly do that, possibly in the next few days. So yeah, I will do that. But keep in mind, if you do pull the 7-year anniversary LRs, you can beat this easy. All the movie bosses stage and the GT edition stage of the Ultimate Redzone. It's easy. It's just so simple. So he has a super attack chance of 14%, so he won't be able to do super attacks too often. But he, like I said, they have the same effect on their super attack. They can lower your defense by 40% for 3 turns, so you got to be careful. 9 attacks, and he has a 10% chance to do 1 less. 65% damage reduction, 0% chance to dodge. And now we go into Tech Metal Rule though. He has all the same elements except, well, including one that's gonna be a little bit more dickish once you go into these stages. He has a 60% chance to lock your rotations, meaning that you won't be able to move the characters around. On a certain situations where he can... I've been experiencing this on Battlefield. Battlefield has been happening this very frequently. On the last stage, Omega Shenron, he locks a character and he supers the character that he locks. So it's something to keep an eye out, because they love to do that. They love to just put a hold on somebody who, let's say, the weakest character that hasn't stacked defense or hasn't been able to do too much or cannot take a super attack for his life. Or maybe you're bringing AGL, I don't know, AGL Cell or AGL Gohan. Actually, these guys are obviously gonna stack their defense and everything, so they're gonna be fine all the way up to here, onto this stage of Metal Rule though. But it all, like I said, it all depends on which. If a unit gets super attack with type disadvantage against this guy, you're gonna die. That's the whole point. That's the whole reason. He has 28 million HP, 260,000 attack and defense of 71,000, and super attack damage is 728,000. You see that it jumps all the way there. This is why I say, if you get clipped by a super attack type disadvantage, you might get hit by 1,000,000 damage here. So that's something to keep an eye out. It's something to be very careful of. Has a 14% chance to do a super attack. Like I said, it's kind of low, but it's not 0. So you gotta keep an eye out for those super attacks. If you bring maybe Tech Gogeta or Ginyu, those characters that can give you like a scouter effect or like a scouter mechanic, that can also be a good team to bring. If you did pull the Ginyu and bring the Ginyu Force team with Guldo and Raccoon and Jason Birder, they're gonna be very good against the Redzone. That Ginyu Force team is just too broken. You bring the SDR ECA Gs. You bring Raccoon, the physical Raccoon who has that guard chance, and you have your team there. I think you have your team. I think you had to bring another. No, do you have to bring one more? So you got Ginyu, the 2 banner units. You bring G's, you bring Raccoon, and possibly bring somebody else. Maybe the LR Ginyu Force, the physical LR Ginyu Force. There we go. And in Ginyu, you're done. You can do this stage easily with Ginyu. Ginyu is amazing. So, he has a 67% chance to do that. He has a damage reduction of 67% and 7% chance to dodge. Once you get rid of Rildo, you move into the next stage, which is Baby. Now, Baby has 4 stages. More so of them not too I would like to say not too bad, but Baby can be a little bit awful whenever you're going up against Baby. So, Baby, on the first stage, he has 19 million HP, 225,000 attack, and 60,000 defense. Super attack damage is 562,500. And he has that super attack effect in which he can lower your attack and defense by 20% per 3 turns. Again, the only thing that gets affected by this on your behalf if the defense gets lowered. If your defense gets lowered, that's gonna be pretty awful here. But your attack shouldn't matter. Obviously, you're not gonna do too much damage to him if he lowers your attack. But if your defense is lowered, that's gonna be pretty bad for you, especially for 3 turns. Then I think that effect leaves, and then a new effect goes for Grade 8 Baby. Grade 8 Baby Super Vegeta. Grade 8 Baby Super Vegeta 2 version. It's very hard. Super Baby 2. Is that what it's called? Super Baby 2? Yeah. He has a 18% chance to do a super attack. Where did my kitty go? I was looking at my cat. I don't know where it went. Anyways. So he has a 7% chance to do 1 attack less, and he does 7 attacks. And he has a damage reduction of 58%. He cannot... On these stages, you gotta assume that you cannot lower their attack, you cannot lower their defense, you cannot seal them, you cannot stun them. I believe that on the minions, on the movie bosses stage of the Redzone, you can lower their attack and defense. Some you can stun, and some you can seal. But obviously you're not facing minions this time, it's just more focused on the bosses. So on this type of boss, you cannot lower their attack, you cannot lower their defense, you cannot stun them, you cannot seal them. So, yeah. Then once you beat this stage, remember that this baby is Extreme Tech. You move into Extreme AGL for this baby Vegeta here. He now cannot lower your attack nor your defense, so you're gonna be fine on there. But then you have his HP raise, which is a 24.7 million, 240,000 attack and 68,000 defense. He has a super attack damage of 672,000, a little bit of a skyrocket there, and he can only super attack once per turn. Number of attacks are 9, and he has a 10% chance to do 1 less. Pretty good. And he has 63% damage reduction, so it does a little bit of a jump there. Not too much on this stage, obviously. There's not much that you can do other than... I don't want to be a dick and say survive, but you gotta continue raising your defense. You gotta keep doing more damage so you can get rid of all of these fights, so you can get it over with, basically. And then afterwards, you're going to be facing Super Baby 2. In this case, he's gonna have 30 million HP, 270,000 attack, and 72,000 defense. He has a super attack damage of 756,000. Jesus, it does a big jump. And he has a super attack chance of 14%. And obviously max for 1 per turn, meaning that only he can super attack once per turn. The only rare case that it's max 2 per turn is when you're facing Redzone Broly. He has a number of attacks are 10, and he has an 8% chance to do 1 less, so I doubt that is gonna prog. Sometimes it does, but obviously it's not gonna be too often that you can see that. And he has 64% damage reduction. Now we jump into Grade 8 Baby, and this is where it all goes to shit, because actually I do not know what this this little icon here, I really don't know what it does. Oh, it's an AoE. Okay, that's the AoE icon. Yeah. Did Broly have that icon? I don't think he did. But But he has 37 million HP, 270,000 attack, 79,000 defense, and he's able to do an AoE attack. Basically speaking, this is just like Broly. Instead that it's not a super attack AoE. It's just a normal AoE. And its AoE is 313,000. And he has an 18% chance to do the AoE attack. So it's not too often that you're going to see that, but the chance is there. So you gotta be careful. Max only 7 per turn. So because of maybe you getting a number of attacks, the number of attacks is 9. So in those 9, you can see it twice that you might get supered. Per turn, you get that AoE. So again, very careful. Super attack damage is almost 1,990,000. And he has a 100% chance to stun for 2 turns on his super attack. So again, very, very careful. If you have the Scouter, there's so many teams that you can build for this, right? If you build the Ginyu Force team, you're gonna have that little Scouter effect in which it'll provide you the location of a super attack. If you do bring the like a Scouter icon item, which is not, it is not advisable, because you only get 1 item per run. That's the difficulty of this stage. You only get 1 item. That's another thing that I gotta discuss. There's only 3 times that you can do these stages. They haven't done this like permanent. They need to put these events like permanent after the anniversary. But it's only 3 times per day. So you gotta strategize a little bit. He has a max number of attacks of 9, and he has a 10% chance to do 1 less. He has a damage reduction of 67%. So once you get rid of Grade 8 Baby, you go into the next stage, which is Super 17. Now this is what Super 17 likes to do, boy. Woo! This is a hard fight, by the way. I don't know how many units, and I feel like it's more than 50%. But I will discuss this once we get into Super 17. You got 2 fights. You got these 2 minions, or Hellfighter 17 and Trenchcoat 17. They can dodge your attacks, and you cannot stun, you cannot seal, you cannot lower their attack, and you cannot lower their defense. 60 million HP for both of them, 250,000 attack for both of them, and 70,000 defense for both of them, 625,000 damage for the super attack for both of them, actually. So you guys are not gonna change? Alright. Max number of attacks are 4, and they have a 28% chance to do 2 attacks less. That's pretty big. 28% chance. That's not bad. And they have damage reduction of 64%. They have a dodge chance of 5%. Again, not a hard fight. These guys are not too hard. And then once you beat these guys, you go over to Super 17, which is this icon right here. You cannot do Ki Blast super attacks because he will absorb Ki Blast super attacks. I don't know if he heals from that. He either nullifies the Ki Blast super attacks, or he heals from this from the Ki Blast super attacks. Obviously, he will nullify it. It's either the question that if he heals or not. That is my thing. So that's something to discover, or something that I need to research, or something that you can tell me in the comments if you guys know about it. So he has 39 million HP, 370,000 attack, and 80,000 defense. Why do I keep saying percent? His super attack damage is 1,035,999. He has a super attack chance of 14%. Not too high. That's pretty good. He has 9 attacks. Therefore, you gotta always be wary that you might get super attack once per turn. Again, you gotta be very careful with that. He has a 10% chance to do 1 less attack. He has a damage reduction of 67%, and he has a dodge chance of 5%. For these types of fight, maybe type disadvantage. I mean, type advantage is gonna be your friend, but key blast attacks are not gonna be very helpful for you because of what's happening here. If you get clipped by a super attack with type disadvantage, you're gonna die. But bringing units that have type advantage is gonna be fine, so long as they have physical attacks or unarmed super attacks or combo attacks. But you cannot do Ki Blast super attacks considering the fact that he is able to heal or nullify those attacks. Not nullify and then heal for those super attacks. So if he nullifies and heals, I doubt that he heals because that's gonna make it a very difficult fight. So I believe he will just nullify the attacks. So I feel like that's fine. I feel like that's a little bit more plausible here and there. Once you beat Super 17, like I said, it's gonna be pretty easy, pretty simple. Once you beat Super 17, you're going to fight the Shadow Dragons. Now, I think Nova is the most difficult one out of the Shadow Dragons. But they all have their quirks, so we can go ahead and talk about them. Let me go a little bit fast. How much? I'm at minute number 30, 31, almost heading to 32 minutes. We're almost done. We're almost done. We only got 2 more stages. I'll leave the team building options for the next video, maybe. So you will get to face these Shenrons right here. The only names that I know are this is Ice Shenron. No, this is Ice Shenron. I forgot. What is you? I forgot your name. This is Nova Shenron, but then I forgot these guys' names. I'm very sorry. 60 million HP, 200,000 attack, 63,000 defense. You cannot do all of these elements because that's the GT boss's stage, I guess. They have a super attack chance of 18%, and their number of attacks is 7. They have a 15% chance to do 1 less attack, and their damage reduction of 62%. This guy is tech. So I believe you're gonna be facing all the typings in here, right? Yeah. There's 6 enemies, therefore you're gonna be facing all the typings. So no mono team or type advantage team. You gotta strategize what kind of teams are you gonna bring. Once you beat this guy, you're gonna go into this guy. Again, I'm very sorry. I don't know their names. So again, very sorry. This guy is able to do the same thing as the Super 17, which he's able to nullify Ki Blast super attacks. So keep in mind, bring some physical or combo attacking units because you won't be able to take down this guy with just Ki Blast supers. 18 million HP, 215,000 and 66,000 respectively of HP attack and defense. Super attack damage is 537,000. So their super attack damage is not that high. They're gonna be okay. The only thing that I say that Mr. Nova Shenron here is more difficult is because he has more HP than everybody and he does more damage than everybody. And I believe he does more attacks than everybody, so you gotta be careful. Then he has also 62% damage reduction. That's not bad. Once you move on to that, you move into this Shenron right here. I swear I know her name, I just forgot about it. I really forgot about it. 21 million HP. This gal right here can be able to change or move around your orbs. Basically change your orbs and stuff like that. So you gotta... It's not something to be careful of, it's just something to keep an eye out, let's say. Because she can interact with the orb change and everything, so. 21 million HP, 230,000 attack, 68,000 defense. It has a super attack damage of 575,000, so again, it's something to keep. Keep an eye out, raising your defense, keep an eye out that defense whenever you go into these stages. It has a super attack chance of 13%, so it's a little bit lower. As number of attacks are 8, she has a 13% chance to do 1 less attack. Damage reduction is 64%, a little bit of a boost between these two. And she needs to be defeated with a super attack. Once you take her down, you move into this form here. It's gonna be Int, and I think this dragon has a 40% chance to seal your super attack. So, something to keep an eye out. 25 million HP, 280,000, and 71,000 HP attack and defense, respectively. Super attack damage is 700,000. I gotta keep an eye out for this. And he has a super attack chance of 16%. A max once per turn. They can only do 1 super attack per turn. All of them. The number of attacks are 8 and 30% chance to do 1 less attack. And they have damage reduction of 60%. Remember, this is the cycle right here. You're gonna go over here, then you move over here, and then you go up. So that's, you're gonna face 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enemies. So it's 6 stages. They're not gonna be all together at the same time. It's just gonna be stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or something. Or fight 1 through 6, basically. Then you go over to Nova Shenron. He's able to dodge attacks, so you gotta be careful. You're gonna be very angry when he does that. 30 million HP, 340,000 attack, 75,000 defense. Super attack damage is 951,000, almost 952,000 almost. So very bad. Super attack chance is 14%, max of 1 turn. He has 9 attacks and he has a 10% chance to do 1 attack less, and that's a 66% damage reduction. And his dodge chance is 10%. It's 10%, so you gotta keep an eye out for that. Once you beat Nova Shenron, then you go over to Ice Shenron. 27,000 HP, 320,000. Actually, 27 million. Why did I say 27,000? 27 million HP, 320,000, and 73,000 HP attack and defense, respectively. His super attack damage is 896. It's got a little bit lower, but it's still pretty devastating. Has a 16% chance to do a super attack, and he has 8 attacks. The number of attacks is 8, and he has a 13% chance to do 7 attacks, or to do 1 less, basically. And he has 66% damage reduction. But the thing that Ice Shenron does is that he is able to lock your rotations 100% of the 100% of the time. So keep an eye out for that. Once you beat the Shadow Dragons, you move on to the final stage of the GT edition of the Ultimate Redzone, which is Omega Shenron. So he has 3 stages, or 3 fights, I should say. You go ahead and fight this is like the LR Legion of Shadow Dragons. This LR you can get it from Battlefield for a lot of Battlefield points. So you gotta be stacking those. So this guy can orb change. This guy has a 40% chance to lock your rotations and seal. And you can, I believe he super attacks, and you can lower his attack, and he can lower your attack and defense on super. But you can stun him and you can seal him, which is pretty nice. That gives you more of a fighting chance, I should say. He has 31 million HP, 220,000 attack, and defense 75,000. Super attack damage is 660,000, so he is pretty hard hitting. So you gotta keep an eye out for him. And his super attack, he has an effect where he can lower your attack and defense by 20% for 2 turns. So you gotta keep an eye out for units. Since this is the first stage that you're fighting, the chances of him supering on the first turn are very high. Even though it's 14%, he does 9 attacks in the turn, and 10% chance to do 1 less attack. He's still able to hit you with a super attack on the first turn, and without having the chance to properly stack your attack and defense, you're going to get hit for a lot of damage. So you gotta rest assured that he doesn't super attack a type disadvantage unit. Otherwise, he's just gonna kill you. That's the bad stuff about this Omega Shenron here. Um, yeah, 64% damage reduction, and like I said, he's able to ore change. He's locked your rotations. He can seal you, and he can lower your attack and defense on super. But the good thing about this is that you can seal him and you can stun him. So if you seal him or stun him, you're not gonna receive the debuff, and he is not gonna destroy your attack and defense for those 3 turns. Once you finish up this end stage, you go into this SDR stage of Sin Shenron. 40 million or 40.5 million HP. He has 340,000 attack and 78,000 defense. Super attack damage is 951,000. So it's same as the Nova Shenron back in the 6th stage. So something to keep an eye out. He has a super attack chance of 14%, max once per turn. He's able to do 9 attacks in a turn, but he has a 10% chance to do 1 less, so pretty good. He has a 67% chance, 67% damage reduction, and since he's able to dodge your attacks, he has a 5% chance to dodge your attacks. Keep in mind, you cannot lower his attack nor defense, and he cannot be sealed nor stunned. Once you finish with Sin Shenron, you move over to the final stage, which is Omega Shenron. It has 35 million HP. Actually, a lot lower than this guy. That's pretty weird, but okay. All right, we'll take that. 400,000 attack, 450,000 attack, and defense of 84,000. But keep in mind, he may have low HP or lower HP than the SDR form, but he's gonna do big boy damage. So it's something to keep an eye out. Something to keep an eye out is a goddamn phrase that I keep saying very often. He has a super attack damage of 1.5 million, so if he super attacks you, you're dead. He has a number of attacks of 10, and he does not have those chances to do 1 less attack. They're just permanent. He has a damage reduction of 70%, so he's gonna be very tanky. Taking him out is gonna be very difficult. And he has a dodge chance of 5%. You cannot seal him, you cannot stun him, you cannot lower his attack nor defense, and he's able to do a KO attack. So you gotta be aware of his countdown. Keep in mind, I say KO attack because I believe this is just KO. I don't think, unless you're tanking, you have a unit that is either has 700 defense or 700k defense, guard activated, and everything like that, you're not gonna be able to withstand this guy's super attack. So I think, or he does have a KO mechanic, which we haven't seen, because I believe you can either dodge that or you can take him out before that KO super attack comes into effect. But yeah, once you beat Omega Shenron, congratulations, you managed to beat the Redzone. When the data download comes for Global 7th anniversary, obviously it will show you some reels or some support memories that you get by beating these stages. I believe that for this one you get a GT Goku that vanishes. I don't know what its effect is. Actually, you know what? Let me look it up real quick and I'll show you guys. Alright, so immediately after you beat the stages, or once you beat all the stages of the Redzone, you are able to obtain, from beating the Redzone, you're able to obtain this support memory, which is Farewell Goku. It provides GT Heroes category allies attack and defense plus 10% in battle. So this lasts for the rest of the battle. And when there is an ally whose name includes Goku, excluding Ginyu, Junior, etc., in the team, all allies will receive Ki plus 1 for 7 turns from the start of battle, once only. That's pretty effective. That's a pretty nice support memory effect. That's pretty good. So keep in mind, you only get these support memories by beating this stage, by beating all 7 stages of the Redzone. And if in any case that you need some team building and everything, you can go into the Dokkan Wiki. It tells you what this can do. I feel like there's a tactics page, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like there's a tactics page right here, which teams you can take down. Um, Obviously, it's more focused. If you do have the 7-year anniversary units, you can mollywop this. But I'm pretty sure, shoutouts to Truth, by the way, Truth is able to do this without, with and or without the 7-year anniversary units. So, it's something that I will put myself to the test once we get into the Redzone. But then, on the movie bosses side of things, which I forgot to show this at the end of it, but I'm glad that we're showing it here. You're able to receive this support memory right here. It's the same effect, but instead of being GT heroes, it's supporting movie bosses. So movie bosses, category allies, attack and defense plus 10% for the rest of the battle. And when there's an ally whose name includes Goku, excluding Ginyu, Junior, etc., in the team, all allies will receive Ki plus 1 for 7 turns from the start of battle. Keep in mind, receiving Ki is so good from support memories, or even so from effects, because that'll help you out super attack. That'll help you very greatly do a super attacks. Beating all the 7 stages for the Redzone provides you the support memory, so keep an eye out for that. So that is it. I'm sad to say that this video is almost 50 minutes long, so I'm really sorry. But that was the data thread. Shoutouts again to Dokkan for the information. Shoutouts to Raspy as well for providing the images and everything. But this is the Redzone, one of the most hardest events in the game. We will be testing out the Redzone once it comes out on global in about a week. I think in about 5 weeks from now. So we'll be testing that out real soon. So let me know what you guys think about the Redzone. I know that's a little bit intimidating, but it provides a lot of rewards. Actually, if we can check real quick, I don't believe that you only get that for the Redzone. So obviously, by beating all these stages, you receive stones. You receive some tickets, which obviously these tickets are just like to summon for units in the Redzone. And you got these guys featured, and these guys are unfeatured in the pool, but these are from the GT side of things, where you can pull these LRs. And if you go into the movie bosses, version of it, let me pop up the movie bosses section of the Redzone. You receive stones and everything. You will receive 5 stones every single time you beat the stage, and you will receive 7 of these tickets, in which you will summon for movie heroes characters. The pool over here for the LRs is much bigger. But again, you gotta get really lucky, because obviously it'll have the LR rates, and if you do pull like a featured unit, these are the units that you're gonna pull. All of these units are bad except for these two. These two are gonna get insane ECAs. This guy is just the best of the batch. And for the, I believe for this section right here, I guess these guys are gonna be like better. And this guy got his Dokkan Awakening a long time ago. But these guys are possibly the better units from the banner. But obviously the units that you want to pull are the LRs. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think about the Redzone. I know that's going to be difficult, but I will be doing videos showing you guys how to beat this stage. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm just going to cut it here. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye.